Ballpark. The Texas Rangers, who came to town not swinging the bats all that well, have swung the bats well, and especially early in games. They have had big leads in the first three games, 6-0, 5-0, 6-0, before the Blue Jays tried to make him interesting at the end. And one guy the Blue Jays have had a problem with is Jake Berger, 5 for 11 with a home run in the series and hitting a robust .377 over his last 18 games. He and the rest of the Rangers will face Shane Bieber.
And Shane Bieber knows, as well as all of his fellow rotation mates, how important this first inning is becoming for Blue Jays starting pitchers. Shane made his first start of the 2026 season on Tuesday against Houston, and he did not get out of the fourth inning. Houston got him for 9 hits, 3 home runs back to back to back of the 4 runs that he gave up. He went 75 pitches, and against this Rangers lineup today, it's going to be critical to get off to a good start and get the month off on the right foot. Defensively for the Blue Jays, behind Bieber for John Schneider's glove, Yohendrick Pinongo back out in left, Dalton Varsho in center. Nathan Lucas will roam around right field. On the infield, Okamoto and Jimenez, Clement and Guerrero, and Alejandro Kirk behind the plate again this afternoon.
You know, there are a lot of things I think John Schneider is hoping for here today. First and foremost is a win, but if you break it down a little bit more than that, I think he would love to see his team not give up any runs in the top of the first inning. It has been 6 games in a row and 7 of the last 8. And again, 6-0, 5-0, 6-0 the deficits in the last 3 games. But even back to the Houston series, even back to the Cubs series, they have just been behind by too much too early to give themselves a reasonable chance to win. They did win one of those games, one in the Cubs series, but even just to get out 0-0, they've given up at least 1 run in the first inning in each of the last 6 games.
And it becomes a conversation. We're talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. But I'm sure also the starting pitchers are talking about it. We need to have a good first inning. Give our hitters a chance to take a lead as we move forward in this ballgame.
Jock Peterson is going to lead it off for the Rangers. He hit a home run to lead off the game on Thursday night. He did not play Friday. Yesterday he went 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts, but you and I have talked a fair bit about him both on and off the air. No matter what the numbers are, he always feels like a threat when he's in the box.
He certainly does. He's got a little bit of a command of the strike zone. He's going to make you come in and go back to the Kevin Gausman home run when he led off that ball game.
So Bieber on the mound, Kirk behind the plate. The crew chief, Alan Porter, is the home plate umpire today. And on this beautiful day, this ball game is underway with a swing and a long fly ball to right. And would you believe it, 1 pitch in, it is 1-0.
Much different than the home run on Thursday when he led off the game against Kevin Gausman. It took him 11 pitches. He finally got a fastball in the inside corner. This is just a first pitch fastball up and out over the plate, and I think Jock Peterson woke up this morning thinking, I'm swinging at the first pitch today.
A fastball up at the top of the zone, and now in all 7 games on this homestand, the opposition has scored in the top of the first. Number 13 on the year for Peterson. 0-1 the count on Josh Young, the third baseman. And he's got a base hit into left field. He got a slider up in the zone and hit it hard into left center for a single.
Back-to-back sliders by Bieber, but you see where the setup is and you see where the pitch is. Hanging and not doing a whole lot at the top of the zone.
And now is something going on with Alejandro Kirk. Maybe just pitch calm. So Shane Bieber in his second start, a home run and a single to the first 2 batters he has faced, as everyone patiently waits for a working, maybe it's the earpiece, not the pitch comm device, whatever it is. Looks like they're getting it sorted out. It just brings back memories of yesterday and the day before. And I mean, this is game 7 of the homestand, and they've given up something in the top of the first in all 7 games.
The way we just talked about that, and as I said, pitchers know, they know what's going on. They know how important it is to put up a 0, and no sooner does Jock Peterson turn on the first pitch of the ballgame.
The starting pitching, which earlier in the year at times really kept this team afloat for a while, it has been a much different story the last several weeks. Here's Corey Seager, 1 for 7 with a home run in this series. As he takes one just off the outside corner. Seager, as we've mentioned, just back off the concussion IL when the series began on Thursday. The Rangers made a roster move before the game today. Wyatt Langford went back on the IL, one of their best players, a young outfielder back on this time with a hamstring issue, and another young outfielder, Evan Carter, who had an oblique injury, was activated, and he's in the lineup today.
Shane Bieber, for the most part, will work away from hitters. It's left-handed hitters right here. You see a lot of the four-seam changeups, just as we've seen back-to-back changeups here. He will use that cutter to run it in on them on occasion, but he's behind early.
And he misses high for ball 3.
Just has not been able to get that snap on the slider. All very flat in the top part of the zone.
One of 3-0, swinging a foul off by Seager, now 3-1. You saw the velocity there, 92. That's about where Bieber was in his last start. Last year, a little higher, kind of 92.5 to 93. He's within range in terms of velocity of where he was a season ago. Young not going. And it's ball 4, but we've got a very early challenge. And this closer look is brought to you by Specsavers. And that's a very good early challenge by Alejandro Kirk. His pitcher needed that.
Well, that's where he will live. When I said he's going to work these lefties away, this is what he'll do with his changeup. He'll backdoor the slider. He'll use the fastball out there. But he is going to need to live on the edges.
So now it's 3-2 on Seager. We'll see if the Rangers put Young in motion at first. Bieber the set. Young is not going. And there is ball 4. So eventually the walk, and now it's first and second. Still nobody out. And as we have already discussed, the starting pitching has been less than ideal recently. Much better earlier in the season. But Joe, dead last in a number of important categories in the month of June.
We know there's been some flux in the back end of the rotation, but you have to get your best from Dylan Cease, Kevin Gausman, and Trey Savage. And it's really been a tough month all around for this rotation.
Brandon Nimmo fouls it off, and it's 0-1. Nimmo hitting .263, 8 homers. Among league leaders in doubles with 20, one back of the American League leader, who is Ernie Clement. Not your prototypical cleanup guy here, although there's that kind of thing doesn't exist as much anymore, but still a professional hitter, veteran guy, makes good contact. Line drive left center. Over to make the play, Varsho for the first out of the ball game. Varsho's brought the sunglasses. Everybody would be well advised on a day like today to have them with them.
A little earlier game today than yesterday. Yesterday with the later start, you could see the shadows throughout the Rogers Center on the playing field. A couple balls looked like they were misjudged by outfielders on both sides.
Here's Jake Berger, who, as we mentioned, has been a real problem for the Blue Jays in this series. 5 for 11 with a home run and a couple of walks. A hot hitter going back about 3 weeks. He leads the Rangers in both home runs and RBIs on the season. And Bieber will start him with a fastball at 93 over the outside edge, and it's 0-1.
Shane will use the four-seam fastball, cutter, slider, again a lot away from these righties as well.
A look back at Young out at second, and a step off to drive him back to the bag. Trying to minimize the damage to just the one on the leadoff homer. Kumar Rocker will be on the mound for the Rangers today. 0-1. Up and in. Kirk asked for the appeal, but no swing. It's even at a ball and a strike. Pitch clock right down to 1 before he delivered, and another swing and a miss on a fastball. 1-2.
Also working that outside edge of the plate against Berger, and that's a good spot to live against a dangerous hitter. And now maybe the cutter or slider. We know when Shane's at his best, he is dotting that outside edge with his slider. Does not look like they're in agreement right there. Now they are.
Ahead 1-2, and he wanted another fastball. Missed high. 2-2, so that's 4 pitches, all fastballs to Berger. One run in, 2 men on, 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Bieber looking for a ground ball. Fouled off by Berger.
That's the spot we're looking right there. That's when Shane's at his best, when he is spotting that slider down and away to righties. Great location. Good job by Berger to hang tough there. That's a pitch that a lot of times you'll get a swing and miss or chase from Berger. Just catching the edge.
Two again. And it's just off the outside corner. Ball 3.
It looks real good from the dugout because they don't have that angle. But Alejandro not challenging. He knows as a catcher he's got a bird's eye view, just missing off the edge.
Yeah, just was off the edge. So a big pitch here. The 3-2 bounced foul. Bieber going to the changeup. Got some weak contact, but it's foul. And this is turning into a lengthy first inning here for Bieber, trying to keep them to just 1 run.
And it's clear as a hitter, Berger knows what he's trying to do. He's staying away. He can give up the inside part of the plate, so he can lean out there.
3-2 again. Popped up, foul. Kirk coming over, but it's out of play.
That slider backed up on him big time, not like the earlier one we saw in this at bat. And Berger knows that Shane Bieber's not throwing a slider backing up on the inside part of the plate. That was a mistake.
Berger has already seen 8 pitches in this at bat. Young at second, Seager at first. And another 3-2 pitch, and it's outside, ball 4. The second walk given up by Bieber, and now the bases are loaded.
And this is a very different pitcher than we saw yesterday in Dylan Cease. Dylan's a power pitcher that is throwing in the upper 90s, and the location is not as imperative. But with Shane, he has to live on the edges, and you can see what he did that whole at bat against Bieber. He is trying to paint that outside corner, and when you're just missing and the hitter takes, he gets the free pass.
Guerrero, Jimenez, Kirk all on the mound with Bieber, and Ezekiel Duran is going to come up. He's hitting in the 6th spot. Duran at second base hitting .267, and he's been very productive with runners in scoring position. He's got 41 RBIs on the season. Bieber's first pitch is high, ball 1.
Looked like he really rushed that delivery there. You could see that body flying forward and that arm trails and misses way above the zone.
Two and 0. Unfortunately for Bieber, has kind of really backed himself into a corner here in the first inning. Has to find a way to get into the zone and hoping for weak contact at somebody. The 2-0 pitch. Ground ball to third. Coming home for the force there. Okamoto evidently deciding ball wasn't hit hard enough to turn 2, so he took the 1 out at the plate.
It's such a heads-up play by Okamoto. Why not trying to cut down that run from crossing the plate? Because of the way it's hit, he probably, as you said, did not think they were going to get 2. If you're going to get 1, rather than touch the third base bag or throw it to another base, get that lead runner. Why not?
And I think he was right. Durant's fast, and it wasn't hit hard, so they take the force there. 2 outs now. Now a swing and a miss by Evan Carter, who, as we mentioned a few minutes ago, just activated off the IL today with Wyatt Langford going on the IL with a hamstring issue. Carter was on the IL for about 15 days with an oblique injury. Their second-round pick in 2020. He kind of burst onto the scene in 2023 late in the year and was a big part as a raw rookie of the Rangers winning the World Series that year. Had some great moments in the playoffs. Big crowd trying to help Bieber get out of this with just 1 run allowed. Out in front 0-2. Check swing. Did not go, says Alex McKay down at third. So it's ball 1 on Carter, a guy who's really had trouble staying healthy throughout his entire, albeit brief, major league career. All kinds of back issues. The signage here at Rogers Center is telling the fans to get loud, and they oblige. Bieber trying to end it here. The 1-2. Boy, it was a struggle. You can see the veteran's frustration as he comes off the mound. But after all of that, he holds the Rangers to just 1 run here in the top of the first. Leading off here today, and one guy who is certainly doing everything one could ask of him this series is Ernie Clement. 7 for 12, 6 singles and a double, the American League leader in doubles, 3rd in batting average. Kirk is catching again. Piñango is getting another start, and they will face a young guy who's had an up and down season, but an arm that is really live. Good stuff coming out of the right arm of Kumar Rocker.
Rocker just 26 years old. He's in his 3rd season with the Rangers. Last year, after a shoulder injury, he came back. He made 14 starts, pitched to an ERA over 5.5. This year, 15 games, 13 of them have been starts. They've used an opener for him twice, including his last appearance. It was against the Marlins. And he went 5 innings, did not walk a batter, and struck out 9. The slider was devastating. Danny had 17 swings and misses on that slider.
Yeah, this arm is no joke. There's a lot here. This guy has been a first-round pick not once but twice in his career. The first time happened in 2021. The Mets took him out of Vanderbilt. But then when they looked at the physicals, they were concerned. They didn't sign him. He went back into the draft the next year. And the Rangers took him with the 3rd overall pick in 2022. Springer stays alive. He eventually underwent Tommy John surgery in 23, missed a lot of time, broke in 24. His 2nd ever major league appearance was against the Blue Jays down in Arlington. This is the first time he has ever pitched here at Rogers Center.
Using that slider a lot more this year too, and he'll use it against righties and lefties. A lot of those swings and misses came against lefties.
Misses high, ball 1 to Springer. Lucas and Guerrero after Springer today. Line drive left field, and it's down for a base hit.
Well, Rocker will need his defense to work for him this afternoon, and in the field for Skip Schumacher's club, that's Alejandro Osuna in center field. Evan Carter making his return from the injured list in center, and Brandon Nimmo once again in right field, and on the infield, Josh Young at 3rd base, Corey Seager at short. Zico Duran gets to start at 2nd base, Jake Berger back at 1st, and Elias Diaz back behind the plate. Higashioka caught the first 2 of the series, Diaz the second 2.
Now Nathan Lucas hitting in the 2 spot again. Lucas went 2 for 3 with a walk yesterday. Is hitting .305 on the season and .367 over his last 36 games. That's the highest in the majors, minimum 100 at bats over that time frame. Ooh, that was a long 2 seconds there. You've got about 2 seconds. It's supposed to be basically immediate. We'll see if it pays off for Diaz. It does not.
Call confirmed.
Texas has one remaining is what Alan Porter meant to say. So the Rangers are down to 1. And it's a 1-1 count on Lucas. Way off the line at third is Young. That will hit Rocker, bounce out to short, and safe at first is Lucas.
We saw Cal Quantrill get hit with a batted ball yesterday, and today another Rangers pitcher wears this line drive off the bat of Nathan Lucas.
Bang bang play at first, he's safe, and now Skip Schumacher and a member of the training staff are out to check on Rocker. Right side, right rib cage. If you just heard that groan, that is people here at the ballpark watching it on the Jumbotron. And now everybody is heading back to the dugout, so it looks like Rocker has assured his manager that he's okay. You know, depending on your follow through, and each pitcher is different, you're just defenseless out there sometimes.
You are. Some pitchers are better than others. I never really wanted to impress that too much on young pitchers. You've got to deliver your best pitch. But he just kind of grazed him, hopefully, for his sake.
So here's Guerrero off a tough one yesterday. 0 for 5, 4 ground outs and a strikeout. First and second, nobody out here, bottom of the first. Fly ball in the air to right field. Nimmo back. Makes the catch on the track. Springer will tag and come to third on a long fly ball out for Guerrero.
Oh, that's a much better looking swing from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. right there. It's a cutter up and away from him, but I like the way he got some loft underneath that baseball. Trying to get a little bit more tilt to his body to get the bottom part of the baseball. And he almost lifted it out of here.
So you think it's his body, not his swing path, that got that ball in the air?
I think his posture is going to lead to that swing path being more correct.
Got it.
A more upright body is when we see that bat more slapping across the zone.
Kazuma Okamoto. And speaking of tough days, Okamoto had one yesterday as well. 0 for 4, all strikeouts. But he has still had a great run in recent weeks. Huge numbers in the month of June. You see the production, 19 home runs, 53 driven in. Just outside is the call. Diaz really had to reach. It might have been a strike, but remember, they've already lost a challenge, and he's not going to risk losing the second one here in the first inning.
Set up inside. It feels as a catcher as though you're reaching over the other batter's box.
Yeah.
And I'm sure with the ABS now and already losing it, it is just plays with your head.
Sure.
And as a catcher, you're thinking, there's no way I can do it again right now.
Especially if you're a veteran catcher, you're entrusted with, you know, these two challenges. 1-2 the count on Okamoto. Taken low, 2-2. We mentioned how in all 7 games on the homestand now, the Blue Jays have given up at least 1 run in the top of the first. Only once have they responded with a run in the bottom of the first. That was back in the Houston series. Let's see what Okamoto can do. Ground ball weakly hit to third. The throw coming to the plate. And they will get Springer there. So it'll be a fielder's choice. And runners at first and second now with 2 down.
Well, it's the type of ball that you're going on as a runner on third base, because if you don't, they've got an opportunity to turn the double play. So all you can do is try to draw a bad throw. Maybe the third baseman bobbles the ball. George almost avoided this tag.
Springer with a base hit to get it started, but now erased at the plate, and it's first and second, 2 down for Dalton Varsho, who was looking for his first hit of the series. Didn't play Thursday, 0 for 7 the last couple of days. And a slider for a strike. It's 0-1. Too high, a ball and a strike. The pattern for the offense has been to hit the opposing team's bullpens much better than the starters. Another thing John Schneider would dearly love to see change, just to give the games early on a different feel than they've had recently. That one, and you talk about Kirk pancaking. Elias Diaz just did a little pancaking right there.
And the strange part of this is that it looked like he was going down to block the baseball, but then he just used his glove, trying to get the body over there. But yes, he's just a little bit of playing goalie when it bounces that far out in front.
2 balls and a strike.
Seen Alejandro do that so often, and he is so good at it, trying to shorten the distance of that hop.
Lucas and Okamoto aboard for the Blue Jays. And the 2-1 pitch swung through, and it's 2-2. The two-seam fastball running away a little bit on Varsho.
He uses both the four-seamer and the sinker, but the sinker a lot more. Cutter, changeup also.
Foul. Varsho went after one that looked like it might have been low, but again, it's coming in at 96, and in a 2-strike count, you got to swing at anything close. Rocker's ERA in the first inning of games this year is .969. That's why they've used an opener for him a couple of times, but he'll get out of this as he gets Varsho. So the Blue Jays get the first 2 on, but can't convert. Best rivalries in the majors. You can see the Dodgers and the Padres, 4 o'clock Eastern on Sportsnet 1. The Blue Jays will see the Padres fairly soon. The next road trip is to the West Coast. Seattle, San Francisco, and San Diego taking the Blue Jays into the All-Star break. It is 1-0 for the Texas Rangers going to the top of the second. Shane Bieber surrendered a home run to Jock Peterson on the first pitch of the game, and then eventually loaded the bases with 1 out, but got out of it after that. Minimized the damage. Here's the number 8 hitter, the catcher today, Elias Diaz. Diaz had a big 2-run double in the 5th inning of yesterday's game. That came off of Mason Fluharty. Consecutive hits by Alejandro Osuna and Elias Diaz, each of them with 2 outs, turned a 2-0 lead into a 6-0 lead. And as we mentioned yesterday, all 7 runs Joe Texas scored yesterday came with 2 outs.
And like a couple of earlier days in this series, we're talking about Shane Bieber with 27 pitches in that first inning. Now you're playing catch up and you're trying to be efficient. You want to get a couple of quick outs here to get that pitch count back to a spot where you can pace yourself to go a little deeper in the ball games. It's such an important topic right now.
0-2. Runs it a little up and in for ball 1, and Diaz manages to hold off. And a liner into left center for a leadoff base hit. He got a curveball, little up and out, and hit it solidly into the outfield for a leadoff single.
It does not matter if a breaking ball is located on the outside edge if it's up. That's what pitchers can still get to, or hitters can still get to, and that's what allows him to hit this on the line so hard into center field.
Now the number 9 hitter, Alejandro Osuna, the left fielder. Okamoto's come way in at third. But Osuna does not show bunt. He takes high ball 1. Diaz not really a running threat over at first, being held on by Guerrero. And now Okamoto's backed up a few steps at third. first for the double play. Hit right to Guerrero, and he slaps the bag to get the second out.
Oh, we saw Vladdy out there this morning working on the ground ball double play from the first baseman to second, but this one was in the air. He catches it on the line just coming off that first base bag, and that's about as easy a double play as you'll ever have. Just stuck out no man's land as base runner.
So 2 outs with 1 pitch, even though it was hard contact, exactly what Shane Bieber was hoping for. And now back to the top of the order, and he will not throw a first pitch fastball to Jock Peterson in this at bat. Threw him a changeup after, as you said, Peterson probably woke up this morning thinking about what he was going to get, settled on a fastball. He's just a guy who does damage. He will pick on weaknesses. Been around a long time, good game planner, kind of just like a professional home run hitter.
The one time he will come into lefties is with that cutter, just to keep them honest, to hopefully keep the outside part of the plate open.
Hits it hard down the right field line, but it's foul.
Once again, though, that's not where he wants his curveball. Very similar pitch to the base hit that he gave up. It's just staying flat and up right now, and that's a dangerous spot to miss against Peterson.
To give you an idea of Peterson in home runs, he's been in the home run derby twice. In 2015 in Cincinnati, he was the runner-up. In 2019, in the second round, he ran up against Vladimir Guerrero Jr. This is in Cleveland. Each of them hit 29 home runs, finished in a tie, so they kept going. And Vladdy eventually beat Peterson 40-39. This man loves to hit home runs, and he's pretty good at it. Fastball foul back.
Peterson has done a lot of damage on fastballs this season, and that's why I was wondering maybe if Shane get back to either the changeup or one of the breaking balls. Haven't been particularly sharp early.
Pretty good spot for that one, but a pretty good take there by Peterson. If it continues, Josh Young comes up next. 7 pitches already in this battle between Bieber and Peterson. Oh, what a catch by Kaz Okamoto. Boy, some line drives flying around the infield, but Guerrero made one play to get 2 outs, and then a diving catch by Okamoto to get the defense off the field.
In the starting lineup this afternoon, but he continues to bask in the aftermath of what was a pretty memorable debut where he recorded his very first major league hit, and it took place in the bottom of the 6th inning. Keys took a Joe Ross splitter to right field for a base hit, and he did it with friends and family cheering him on from the stands. He told me that it was a relief to get the initial one out of the way and joked that he felt, quote, much lighter after that inning. The Keys family then celebrated the milestone at a dinner held in the young slugger's honor at a downtown Toronto restaurant. John Schneider thought Keys carried himself very well. He liked the way he interacted with his coaches and teammates in the dugout. I thought he did a really nice job. Keys finished the day 1 for 4 with a run scored. Not a bad debut. Dan.
Hazel, thank you. Here is Ernie Clement. And Keys certainly is going to get more opportunities. Maybe later today. Tomorrow, the scheduled starter for the Mets is a lefty, Sean Manaea. But then after that, a couple of righties, and then Seattle's only got righties, and then San Francisco, 4 out of 5 starters are righties. So again, we'll see how much playing time there is, because kind of by definition, for Keys to be in, one of Okamoto, Guerrero, or Springer has to be out, unless George does wind up in the outfield. We haven't seen it yet. There's been some talk that it could happen. Clement with a fly ball to right center. And Carter is over to make the catch. One down, but they might not necessarily have brought Keys up to play every day, but they brought him up to play a fair bit.
Yeah, and I think he'll get a start maybe against a tough righty, and maybe like George got a day yesterday, but now you've also got his left-handed bat on the bench in a day like today. So it's somebody that's hitting well in the minor leagues, and this offense certainly needs some sort of injection. So perhaps Keys can be the one.
Alejandro Kirk hit a home run yesterday, his 500th career hit, as he takes high ball one. You know, a lot of talk about, you know, your best players have to be your best players, how much they need Springer, how much they need Guerrero, and they need Kirk too. This is popped up shallow right. Duran out, and he'll make the catch. A healthy Alejandro Kirk, and at his best, Alejandro Kirk is one of the best hitters on this team.
And he did hit the home run yesterday, but we have seen a lot of that right there where the swing looks a little bit longer and sluggish, and it just has not tuned it up quite yet since his return, especially after that first game back.
2 down, and getting another start today is Yohendrick Pinango. He's in left field again, batting 8th in the order. He hit a home run yesterday. His first big league homer off a lefty, hit it off Robbie Ahlstrom. A hanging breaking ball, a 2-run shot to right. Let's take a look at yesterday's home run.
Well, I think too, in a lefty-lefty matchup, maybe Pinango says, hey, this is a tough matchup for me, so maybe you sell out whatever you think is coming. Guy that throws a lot of sliders, you go up looking for it. Not only did he get the pitch maybe he was looking for, but it was a backup slider, great location to hammer, and did he ever put good wood on that one?
He's a guy with a reputation as being much more of a line drive hitter than a get the ball in the air, but every now and again, like some of the home runs have not been wall scrapers. They have been a lot of height and a lot of distance. He's got it in him. As he bounces this one past the mound to Seager at short. And that will be a 1-2-3. Bottom of the second for Kamar Rocker. Still 1-0 Rangers.
Welcome back. It's a Sunday and the Jays are at home, so that means it's a Junior Jays Sunday presented by Ontario Honda dealers. The action started before the gates even opened outside as part of the Junior Jays outdoor program. There were mascot meet and greets, games, activities, and so much more. And then coming inside the ballpark here at the WestJet flight deck, the Junior Jays have certainly kept their energy up. There are some games behind me, face painting, anything you could think of. And as we get closer to the end of the game, the energy is going to keep getting higher and higher because the Junior Jays get the opportunity to run the bases after the game. So there's no better place to spend your summer than at the ballpark, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. And now, Dan, I started my weekend off with Justin Bieber at the NHL draft. I'm ending my weekend off with Shane Bieber here at the Rogers Center. So I think I'm doing Toronto summer pretty well.
Not a bad weekend. And whenever you've got kids and activities and baseball and ice cream, everything is bound to go very well.
What a combo.
Yeah. 1-0 Rangers on the home run by Jock Peterson to lead off the ball game. This is Josh Young leading off the top of the third against the aforementioned Shane Bieber. And there were 3 hard hit balls off Bieber in the top of the second, but 2 of them found gloves, so there was no damage done. Young had a base hit his first time up. Back, and it's 1-2. John Schneider's team has lost 5 in a row. They're 5 games under the 500 mark. This is their longest homestand of the season, 1-5 so far. The Mets are coming to town for 3 beginning tomorrow night with Bo Bichette, who after a very slow start has been a much hotter hitter in recent weeks. Ground ball to short. Jimenez has it. The Mets as a team are actually having a very poor year right now. I mean, they have very, very high hopes like the Blue Jays did coming into the season. The Mets are 35-48 on the season. They are in the basement of the National League East, 15 games back of the first place Atlanta Braves.
Just hard to believe after the money that they've spent. They've already cost the manager his job.
Here's Corey Seager, who walked in the first. Blue Jays will see Sean Manaea, a lefty, tomorrow, and then Nolan McLean and Freddie Peralta, both of whom just have so-so numbers on the year, but both of whom have really good arms. Nolan McLean was part of Team USA at the WBC, so he was a teammate of Ernie Clements and Tyler Rogers and Jeff Hoffman. They don't have Marcus Semien. He's on the IL, but Francisco Lindor is back. They've got Juan Soto, and obviously they've got Bichette as well. Another play for Jimenez as Seager grounds out. This is what you like to see from Shane Bieber.
Yeah, maybe change his speeds a little bit. That's a better breaking ball there, getting some good depth to that pitch, getting Seager out front.
Two down on a couple of grounders, and here's Brandon Nimmo, who lined out to left. The former Met, it was Nimmo who was in the Marcus Semien deal between the Rangers and the Mets in the offseason. Just low. And that's in there over the outer edge. 1-1. Bieber made 7 regular season starts for the Blue Jays a year ago, went 4-2 with a .357 ERA. Walked only 7, struck out 37, made 5 appearances, 4 of them starts in the postseason. But then in the offseason, the arm just didn't respond as well as he would have liked. He was coming off Tommy John surgery and then was right into a pennant race and then right into the playoffs and pitching the biggest innings of his life. That's ball 4. And I think by everybody's admission, it took a little bit longer. I don't think anybody thought we'd be looking at late June before he came back, but they are hoping that, you know, whatever, 15 to 18 good starts out of Bieber. Get him healthy, take your time, slow play it, make sure the arm is sound, and hopefully he can be a very productive part of the rotation.
And part of that slow play is getting your feet under you here on a big league mound against big league lineups. We saw the struggles in his first one against Houston, but it doesn't just come back your first or second time back. It's going to be a slow progression, but for the Blue Jays right now, they need it to be a little faster because of the situation of their starting rotation.
He exercised a player option in the offseason, so he will be eligible for free agency at the end of the year. The batter, Jake Berger. And a slider will miss down and away for ball 1. Berger walked in the first. Fastball fouled straight back. 1-1. Velocity is up just a touch from his first start, and again, his first start wasn't that far off last year. He's not a power pitcher. Ground ball down to third. Okamoto to second in time. He might have changed his mind about where he was throwing halfway through that play, but he made the right decision. This was an interesting one. We've seen him make this play to first a lot, but right about here he said, nah, I'm going to go the short way.
Whatever works.
Spectacular day for a ball game here in downtown Toronto. As many people around these parts know, a bit of a heat wave is coming starting on Tuesday. I think it'll be kind of like this tomorrow, but Tuesday, Wednesday, which is Canada Day, expected to be up in the low to mid 30s with some humidity.
Drink your fluids.
Drink your fluid. Hydrate.
Hydrate.
Andres Jimenez leading off the bottom of the third, but we always love doing a game on Canada Day. The Blue Jays are almost always home on Canada Day, which is wonderful and appropriate. Great. The Mets the opposition, as we mentioned. 2-0 on Jimenez, who kind of quietly, with some of the offensive struggles the team has been having, he's been really good lately. He went 2 for 3 with an RBI yesterday. He's hitting .339 in his last 19 games, driving in some runs, and it's your number 9 hitter. Pretty good stuff.
Right, exactly. And he did not get a bunt down the other day when John Schneider asked him to, but then he laid down a beauty bunting for a base hit. He also looked like he sold out on a breaking ball on the inside part of the plate, ripped it into right field.
Does what a number 9 hitter should do. 3-0. Take a pitch.
I think with the pop that he has in his bat, he can take some shots when he gets into a hitter's count.
Even 3-0?
No, not 3-0.
Okay. Ball 4. And a leadoff walk for a guy who does not walk very often at all. And that'll bring George Springer up. Springer had a line drive single to left to lead off the bottom of the first.
Rocker, a big guy that doesn't necessarily control the running game real well. Pretty good arm behind the plate, though, in Diaz. I think you're going to just let your hitters hit here.
Jimenez has 10 steals in 12 tries on the season. He is the leading base stealer for the Blue Jays this year.
Diaz probably the best throwing catcher when you compare his arm to a Danny Jansen and Kyle Higashioka.
Jimenez the lead. Rocker sets. And the 0-1 in there for called strike 2. 95 right at the top of the zone.
Remember, we were talking the other day about Spencer Miles and his sinker up in the zone, and there's a good example of it right there too. Just a funny look for a hitter.
Springer checked it. Ball 1. One nothing Texas. Bottom of the third. Leadoff man on for the Blue Jays. Big hole on the right side with Jimenez being held on and the second baseman shading up the middle. Springer hits a ground ball to short, to second, and on to first in time to turn the double play.
Well, that's a good sinker. We talked a lot about Rocker's slider, but the sinker is also a very good pitch. You see it running in on the right-handed hitter, and that allows him to clip the top of the baseball, beating it right into the ground, and it doesn't come any more routine than that. Good pitch by Rocker.
So just like that, 2 down and the bases empty for Nathan Lucas, who had a hit in the first. He lined it off of Rocker, off the right side of Rocker. It caromed out to short, but Lucas was safe on a very close play. Swings over the top of that slider. It's 0-2. And a little dribbler out in front of the plate. Diaz, high throw, but they get it there in time. And Berger manages to avoid the collision as well, and that'll be that in the bottom of the third.
usual post there at third base. And Carlos Fablis told me the biggest improvement defensively for him is his pre-pitch setup. His first step is quicker. His angles have improved, especially to the glove side, something that wasn't a strength of Okamoto's when the pair first worked together. What's most impressive for Fablis is Okamoto's work ethic. He is out here every day taking ground balls. He's putting in the time, putting in the energy to get better. Fablis told me he is really happy with the amount of success Okamoto is having on both sides of the ball so far this season. Dan.
Hazel, thank you. I think, I don't want to say an unknown, but there was a lot of curiosity about what kind of a defensive player he would be. I remember hearing and reading adequate at third, probably better than that at first, but obviously they've got Guerrero at first, but I wouldn't use adequate as the word to describe him. I think he has been a better than adequate, a better than average defender down at third base.
I think he's been above average for sure, and I didn't know what to expect necessarily either as a third baseman. We're always looking at the bat, but he has done more than fill in that spot well defensively.
Ezekiel Duran leading off the top of the fourth. He is 0 for 1, bounced into a fielder's choice in the first. 6, 7, 8 in the Texas lineup. Here top four against Shane Bieber. And a swing and a miss through a fastball away at 93, and it is 1-2. It does look like Bieber's command has been better, obviously, since that first 4 or 5 batters of the ball game. On the edges more, the stuff seems to be playing a little bit better. John Schneider, Pete Walker, Max Scherzer, a couple of days back from a cortisone shot in his back in Texas. So I would imagine at some point in the next few days we may hear that Scherzer has started throwing again. Into center, that'll be a base hit for Duran on a curveball way down below the knees, but he got to it.
Not a bad pitch at all from Bieber, trying to get that swing and miss below the zone, but Duran puts a good swing on it, stays on it. But you'll take this curveball any day of the week. Nothing wrong with that, but that's what a hitter does. See the upper body of Duran, the torso really leans over the plate, and that's what allows that bat to come through and stay through the zone.
Now Evan Carter. Carter just off the IL today, struck out to end the top of the first. That was with the bases loaded. What was interesting, Andres Jimenez was way up the middle over towards second base, and then just before Bieber started, and he eventually threw to first, but Jimenez took like 4 big steps to his right.
Fastball. Maybe if he hears a fastball call, he plays the left-hand hitter the other way.
Yeah, and he just hopped again. You can see to his right, but then came back. Here's a ground ball to second. The flip from Clement, and they cannot turn 2. Carter runs very well. And don't know even if they had done it perfectly would they get him, but they do get a fielder's choice in the first out of the inning.
But you can see the feet and the hands of Jimenez on this. There is no chance you're turning this double play, and he actually made it pretty close. Watch the feet and watch how quickly he gets rid of this baseball. It's in and out of his glove.
Fun combination to watch play defense up the middle. So Carter, again, who runs well, he is now at first base with 1 out, and the batter was Elias Diaz, who had a base hit his first time out. Carter is 10 for 10 stealing bases this year, and teams have been running very aggressively on Alejandro Kirk since he has come off the IL.
Yeah, he has not shown that arm strength that we saw when he was at his best last year.
There he goes, and it's popped up. Very shallow left. Jimenez is calling everybody off, and it makes the catch for out number 2.
And that's a situation in a 1-0 count. As a hitter, you could let that go and give your base runner a shot to get into scoring position. Worst case is he's at second base with a 1-1 count.
And as a righty, you can see that runner going. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. And you're sacrificing. I mean, it's a good pitch to hit too, but He's trying to take that extra 90 feet. Let him do it.
Let's see if Carter is active early in this at bat. The number 9 hitter Alejandro Osuna. He's not going on the first pitch, and Bieber will start Osuna with a strike. Now the 0-1. Looked like maybe a bit smaller of a leg kick from Bieber there. Not a slide step,
Sure.
but maybe just kind of making it a little bit quicker to the plate. Every tenth of a second is meaningful.
And good pitch by Bieber. Once in a while you'll see him straighten these left-handed hitters up with a four-seamer in there just to keep them honest so that he can still own the outside part of the plate.
Carter not going, and it's fouled back 1-2. Trying to finish it here, keep him off the scoreboard, make sure the top of the order doesn't come up again this inning. About to throw pitch number 70 on the afternoon. Had to work hard in that first inning. A long hold and then snaps a throw to first. Osuna waiting as Bieber lets that pitch clock run right down, and then another throw to first. So now if they go over there again, they've got to pick him off or it's a balk, and he gets 90 feet. So we'll see if Carter gets more aggressive with his lead.
Sure,
Typically,
Shane will probably hold this ball right down to the end this time.
not going. Oh, did he catch it on the fly? He did not. And the throw to first by Guerrero. Both runners trying to take an extra base, and they will. And Jimenez is looking into the dugout. Did he catch that on the fly?
The umpires may talk.
And that's what John Schneider wants to know. And the second base ump, Jim Wolf, has just raised his right arm. But did he make that signal in the moment? Skip Schumacher wants clarification. Both managers are now in fair territory on the field because everybody needs to know what's going on. Jimenez made a gesture after the play that suggests he felt he caught the ball.
And you wonder if Jimenez is throwing the ball to first just in case they didn't get the call.
So evidently the call is an out. Remember, you can't challenge these things on the infield, right? So the call is the call. And to the Blue Jays' benefit, the call was a catch. One more look going to break. What a play by Andres Jimenez. Report, check in on one player in the minor league system. This is Jay Harry, a second baseman, shortstop, center fielder who has been on an unbelievable tear, first at Double-A and then even more so at Triple-A the last couple of weeks. The Blue Jays got him in a deal for Trevor Richards from Minnesota at the deadline 2 years ago. And until this year, Joe, there was no sign of any kind of production like this. But the average and the power have both gone up a tremendous amount. You see the numbers, 325 at Double-A, only 13 games at Triple-A, but huge numbers in his first 13 games. Who knows? But you know what? Sean Keyes made enough of an impression that he got a call up to the big leagues. The issue always is, you know, how much do you need to see it? How real do you think it is? Where do you play him? And of course, he's a left-handed batter, and they've got a lot of those already. But as John Schneider, he'll always tell these stories, and he'll pause, and the last line is always, but if you hit enough, they'll find a place for you.
Does this conversation not sound familiar when we talked about Sean Keyes in the minor league reports? And it's always good to see the young hitters coming up, because when you start getting to AAA, you're knocking on that door.
And again, picked up for Trevor Richards in a deal at the deadline, and at the time, like, who knew anything about Jay Harry, and he just appeared to be kind of an organizational guy to, you know, fill a hole in the minor leagues. But the numbers are undeniable in recent weeks, and the only thing you like more than talking about prospects is talking about groundskeeping. So have at it.
Look at the work. Look at the work going on here. Well, remember, Kumar Rocker is a big guy out there. He's 6'5", so that landing spot is what he was complaining about. What can happen is we're into the ball game now, into the third, fourth inning. What happens is that landing spot starts getting beat up a little bit. Think of the sun beating down on this field today. That's drying that stuff out quickly. So what can happen is it starts breaking up. So he wanted it just smoothened out. They've got to clean it out, get the moist stuff back in there, and then put that dry stuff back on top.
If you talk to a major league pitcher, especially a starter, and said, tell me about the mound at, and named any ballpark, they could tell you all about it, right?
Absolutely, and they should all be the same, but as you know, I think just the feel on the mound, the visual, your where the bleachers are behind home plate, it can be different. There are big league pitchers that will tell you some crazy things about ballparks, like the home plate in a certain ballpark, it's not even straight, it's a little bit off center, or whatever the case may be, and that could be an illusion to them. But oh yeah, pitchers, you think catchers in their catcher's mitts have a little affair going on? Absolutely.
Here's Guerrero to lead off the bottom of the fourth. Guerrero hit a fly ball to the warning track in right in the first. That advanced Springer from second to third, but the Blue Jays were unable to get him in. Inside at the belt, it's 1-1.
Rocker can really keep these right-handed hitters honest with that sinker that he runs in there. Sinker slider combination. We've been seeing that a lot to Blue Jays right-handed hitters since the start of the season this year. There it is.
Out in front, 1-2.
I feel like this game continues to evolve, and for youngsters watching it, it may be different when that little guy gets to be old enough to play this game at this level. But we saw the four-seam fastball up and the breaking ball down revolution, and now the game's going a little bit more east-west with the sinkers and breakers like that.
And he got Guerrero to chase one way out of the zone to strike him out.
And that is set up by the sinker that you get running in on your hands earlier in the at-bat. Talked about all of the swings and misses Rocker got in his last game, and that's why.
So Guerrero 0 for 2 on the afternoon, and here is Okamoto, who came up with runners at second and third and one out in the bottom of the first. Got jammed a bit, hit a ground ball down to third, and the Rangers came to the plate to get Springer. So Okamoto 0 for 1 on a fielder's choice. Close but no, and it's 1-1. One run on 4 hits for the Rangers, no runs on 2 hits for the Blue Jays. And those 2 hits were to their first 2 batters of the ballgame, Springer and Lucas.
And that's the spot where we've seen Rangers pitchers attacking Okamoto in this series with the fastball up in the zone. Cal Quantrill did it yesterday. Right there.
Tried it again.
Just not quite getting to the elevated fastball. We talked a lot about how much Okamoto is crushing fastballs this year, but those are the ones a little bit more middle and lower in the zone.
The 1-2 again, and a fastball away. Okamoto hardly moves between pitches. He doesn't reset. He doesn't need to kick the dirt around. He's planted and he's ready. Reaches for this breaking ball down, and he's popped it up on the right side of the infield for Duran. 2 down. So now Dalton Varsho, who struck out with a couple of men on to end the bottom of the first. And I think that was the pitch that Rocker struck him out on.
Yep. Yep, there's the hole down and in if you get spin it really well to Dalton Varsho, but if you don't throw your best one, you better watch out because you may not get the ball back.
Tried it again, but this time Varsho picked it up earlier.
We're watching Elias Diaz, the catcher back there, for the second day in a row. Does he not remind you a little bit of Martin Maldonado?
In his setup?
Just everything back there. His demeanor.
You're a much more astute judge of catchers than I am for obvious reasons.
Well, we saw a lot of Martin Maldonado over the years. Of course, he's in the playoffs so much as well.
Be interesting to see what happens when Danny Jansen comes off the IL, which hopefully is a couple of weeks away, because then unless they carry 3, I would imagine Diaz might be, at risk of being DFA'd, might wind up a free agent, and everybody's looking to pick up a veteran guy as a backup catcher. This is squibbed the other way, and Varsho will take it. And a big turn, but then puts the brakes on and heads back to first.
Well, Dalton will indeed take it. This is a tough pitcher with that slider. It's such a good breaking pitch. You see it. This one's more down and away, but he just cues it off the end of the bat. The defense, of course, not expecting that at all.
So a man on with 2 down for Ernie Clement, who hit a fly ball to center his first time. Still 7 for 13 in this series. Let's see if maybe Mark Budzinski, Dalton Varsho, John Schneider in a bit of a running mood here with Varsho at first, trying to get him into scoring position.
Yeah, like doesn't it almost feel like you have to try to do something, but you have to make sure you're picking the right pitch. As I said earlier, pretty good arm behind the plate in Diaz.
In there, it's even at 1-1. Ernie, a long look down to Carlos Fabulous at third to see if they've got something going. 3rd in the league in hits, 3rd in the league in batting average, 1st in the league in doubles. One and 2. And 1st in the majors at doing this, getting hits on pitches outside the strike zone.
And that's why he's so difficult to pitch to. You can think you're painting corners, doing whatever, but he'll bounce it around, and he's a pull hitter. Those balls to the right side are generally accidents, but there's nowhere really to pitch Ernie. He can cover everything.
He held up there, and it's 2-2. Rocker, his 16th appearance of the year, his 14th start, and just the second time he has faced the Blue Jays in his now 3 years, parts of 3 years in the big leagues. 2-2, and he got him to go here. So he strikes out Clement. Varsho is left aboard, and it's 1-0 Rangers in the end of 4.
Social high above left field, where Junior J Sunday has made itself to every corner of the ballpark. Now, Park Social is a great spot for parents to sit down, relax, grab some beverages, some food, while the kids take part in a plethora of activities. Now, I have some important announcements because tomorrow is a big day. First, Bo Bichette and the Mets come back to Toronto, and also Phase 2 of All-Star voting begins. Now, fans have up until Thursday to get those final votes in, and that determines the starting lineup for the Midsummer Classic coming up in July in Philadelphia. So make sure your Blue Jays make the cut by going to bluejays.com/vote. Now, Dan, Ernie's already cemented his place in Philadelphia. We know he's going to be lonely without his friends, so Jays fans need to show up and vote, because we don't want to make Ernie sad, do we?
I think he's got an excellent chance to be starting alongside Kazuma Okamoto. Okamoto was one of 2 finalists at third base, along with Junior Caminero of Tampa Bay. Pitchers are not voted into the All-Star game by fans, but I mean 1,000% Louis Varland is going to the All-Star game this year.
Absolutely. What a first half he has had.
I hope Louis didn't put some non-refundable money down on a cottage up in Muskoka or something for 4 days, because he's not going to be there. He's going to be in Philadelphia. 1-0 Texas. Top 5, and there was Peterson maybe playing the guessing game again, thinking, you see the smile on his face? You thought I was going to think that you were going to think, and he was looking for something, maybe the fastball up again. He got fooled by the curveball. I like these kinds of matchups between two very smart baseball players who have been around a long time.
And hitters know that when they guess wrong, they might look silly, but they don't care because it's only one pitch. So now you stick with it. But I think Shane's got to keep spinning the baseball. You can't let him beat you on a fastball. He has really done damage against fastballs this season as opposed to the breaking pitches, and he's got a couple, whether you use the slider or the curveball.
There's a high fastball trying to get a chase out of Peterson. Bieber threw 75 pitches in his first start against Houston, threw 80 in his last rehab start. Swing and a miss. He'll get him here for out number 1.
Well, very interesting approach. Went with the spin earlier, came back with a couple of fastballs, and he just gets it just up and above the zone to Peterson.
Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Get 25% off any footlong on game days. Order in the Subway app using the code strikeout. Josh Young, the batter, he's 1 for 2. So back to Bieber's pitch count. It stands to reason, Joe. He's got 90 in him. He's already done an 80 and a 75. Nobody up in the Blue Jay bullpen. A little bit up and away. 1-1.
Slowly played a little catch up after that first inning. It gets you back on track.
Tried again and missed in the same spot, just a bit up and away for ball 2. Two and 2. Bieber with 2 strikeouts today, and things have really settled down since that first inning. I think more than anything, the command has settled down is the wrong word. The command has improved since that first
When
inning.
he settles in and commands the baseball, that's Shane Bieber in a nutshell. Remember that first game when he came back last year at Miami? Just impeccable.
Strike 3 called, and a milestone moment for Shane Bieber, as the fans here at the ballpark are about to find out. That is career strikeout number 1,000 in the career of Shane Bieber. It's up on the scoreboard now. I don't know if Shane is aware of it. That baseball is coming out of play. Shane, throw that ball out of play. There you go. So wanting to keep his game face on, but the crowd very appreciative of that milestone.
And you go back to earlier in his career when he was much more of a big-time strikeout pitcher. His Cy Young year back in 2020. 2-time All-Star in 19 and 21 with Cleveland.
In 2019, first of all, he threw 214 in a third innings, and he struck out 259. But a little bit older now, and again coming off Tommy John surgery, having to be a little bit more fine, a little bit more towards the finesse end of the scale. Challenge from Kirk.
Catcher is challenging the ball call.
And he's on it. He's 2 for 2 today, and I think he was 3 for 4 in yesterday's game.
He's rolling. He's getting back to that original Kirk, the OG. Remember spring training when this system broke out? He was like perfect.
Two down and the base is empty, and a 1-2 count on Corey Seager, who goes around And Shane Bieber strikes out the side here in the top of the 5th, including career strikeout number 1,000. Still 1-0 Rangers, and here's Jamie Campbell.
All 4 once-in-a-lifetime Canadian vacations during Jay's Cares Canada Day jackpot. From a trip on the Rocky Mountain to Mountaineer to a Hudson Bay Polar Bear expedition to a Cabot Trail golf vacation, there's plenty to excite the imagination. Then on Wednesday, you could take home more than $1.2 million. Get tickets at bluejays.com/50/50 from Alberta, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, or Ontario before 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. Dan?
Anna, thank you. Boy, Anna was getting over the finish line on that one.
Going.
Bottom of the 5th, it is 1-0 Texas. Here's Alejandro Kirk. And you can see the movement, the run on that two-seam fastball there from Rocker as he's out in front, 0-1. Through 4 innings, Rocker has given up 3 hits. He has not walked a batter, got a double play ball. He's got 3 strikeouts. And Joe, this now makes all 4 games in this series where the Blue Jays have not scored in the first 4 innings of the game. There have been 31 innings played in this series, and the Blue Jays have trailed at the end of every single one of those 31 innings because the Rangers have scored in the first every day. The Blue Jays have not answered, and then Blue Jays made it close but couldn't get all the way back. Fly ball to right. Nimmo's got room over in the corner.
Seen Rocker using that sinker slider combination. Used the sinker more the first time through the order, turning to the slider a little bit more the second time. And again, we talk about Blue Jays hitters and the adjustments needing to be made in game against a starting pitcher, and they just have not been able to do it.
1 down, and Rocker now to face Yohendrick Pinango. Pinango had maybe something going on with the bat, a little late getting up to the plate, and it looks like he is telling Alan Porter maybe the way he was banging that bat on the ground, could he not get the weight off of it?
Weight, yes, could get the weight. Sometimes I think there's a little stickiness, pine tar hanging around those weights on the barrel and the bats, and it gets stuck.
You still call them donuts?
I mean, it's not really a donut, but it's a weight.
Yeah. Used to be called donuts.
Because they were donuts.
Yeah.
We're going, Dan, we're going back a while.
We're showing our age here. Yeah. Pinango with the ground ball to short, hit a home run in yesterday's game. Swings through a fastball, 0-2. Got a piece of it. Game 7 of this 10-game homestand with Canada Day just around the corner. That's Wednesday. It'll be a 3:07 first pitch against the Mets. Swing and a miss. Stayed with the fastball away, and he gets him.
Very slow, deliberate delivery by Rocker. Certainly nothing phasing him out there. He is a very cool customer, and he just pounds his four-seamer away. Gets the miss from Pinango.
2 down, and now Andres Jimenez, who worked him for a walk in the 3rd. 0-1.
Similar spot. So many left-handed hitters have that hole away and elevated just a bit.
Staying right out there. Adamaco just starting to get loose, so Shane Bieber's clearly coming back out to at least begin the top of the 6th. Mako got up yesterday but did not get in. He threw 31 pitches 2 days ago, Friday night. Every reliever the Blue Jays have, except for Mako, Miles, and Varland, pitched in the game yesterday. 5 of the 8.
And they should have pretty well everybody available today. Maybe Miles, who threw 35 pitches on Friday. Not ready to bounce back yet, perhaps, but
Shane Bieber has certainly been a lot sharper the last couple of innings. Just struck out the side. The command has gotten better. He's only given up 1 run through 5, and that was on the first pitch he threw today. Rocker tries to go out there with a fastball again, but Jimenez fights it off.
Bieber using that curveball more that second time through the lineup, but it's just amazing from the first start of the game to where we are now how different the spin on that breaking ball has been. Much better.
Having a pesky at bat. Pete Walker and Alejandro Kirk, a little strategy session in advance of the top of the 6th. Lays off, and it's 2-2. They really play him to pull on the infield. The third baseman Young's way over to short. And he shoots it the other way for a base hit. Jimenez on base for the second time today. He's in a pretty good groove right now.
Yes, he is. And he puts a good swing on this pitch, more in the middle of the plate where the barrel can get to it. I'm sure he's trying to get that up and out there a little bit more, but that sinker stayed middle and put a very good swing on it.
A 2-out single, and the batter is going to be George Springer, who singled in the first and then grounded into a double play in the third. He got a sinker in on him and could not get the good part of the bat on it. Making that motion with his left hand. What's he telling himself?
Reminding himself to stay in the middle of the field, not to pull off. George can at times be a little upright, and when a hitter's upright, they tend to come across the baseball in and out of the zone, across the zone, as opposed to through it.
Down to a knee, 1-1.
Right-handed hitters will try to catch that sinker out front. They don't want to sink down and get deep on them, but he took a shot and missed it.
Now 2-1 on Springer. That one missing just below the knees. Again, Jimenez and Mark Budzinski in conversation about Rocker's time to the plate. Berger holding him on. He's not going, and it's ball 3.
My guess is they can steal on Rocker. I don't think that's the issue, but how bad is it his time to the plate and his tendencies to make up for what they might get from the catcher? And I'm guessing they're just not feeling that risk reward is there. We know that the Blue Jays, when they do run, they're generally pretty successful because they pick their spots, but they just maybe don't feel quite advantageous here.
Yeah, the raw numbers are low, but the percentage is good. But now a 2-hopper to short. Seager, a high throw, and Springer is safe. And okay as he hops back up to his feet.
Well, this is some creative base running by George Springer. The throw was off the line, so he had to hit the deck. But watch how he makes sure that he gets the base. Good hustle right out of the box, but this is where he gets creative.
Oh, wow.
Just catches the top of the base with his left hand, his fingertips. Very well done. Acrobatic.
That's some pretty good emergency agility right there.
Right?
It's an error charged to Corey Seager as the inning continues, and that'll get a visit to the mound for Jordan Teagues, the pitching coach. The Blue Jays now with a couple of men on. There are 2 outs, but a guy you feel pretty good about coming to the plate right now, the way that Nathan Lucas has been swinging the bat.
With Jimenez on second base, it's so important to get his good secondary lead so that he can try to score on a base hit.
Today, Lucas has a base hit, and he is also grounded out. The Blue Jays 0 for 3 so far today with runners in scoring position. And all of those came back in the first inning. Young in even with a bag at third, well off the line. And the first pitch to Lucas. Breaking ball for a strike. Jimenez at second, Springer at first. Outside. Right-hander Cole Winn, who has yet to appear in this series, is now up in the Texas bullpen. One and two. Lucas almost down to a knee. Throw down to second, and it's going to ricochet into the outfield. It's 1 and 2 on Lucas, but both runners advance. Did that hit Jimenez?
It sure did. And this is what I mean about a good secondary lead. Getting way off there, he looked like he slipped coming back, but Diaz, the catcher, took his shot, firing that ball down to second base. Here's the secondary lead. This is why it's so important. But he got off a little too far, slipped, and then took this ball off the top of the helmet.
Carlos Fablis checking with Jimenez to make sure he's okay.
When you're getting that secondary lead and the hitter swings, your tendency is to keep going, because if it's in play, you want to make sure you score.
So now 2 in scoring position, but it is a 1 and 2 count on Lucas. And he got him. Rocker just stayed with those sliders down, and he strikes Lucas out, and the Blue Jays will leave those 2 men on. $1,898 on this Junior Jays Sunday. Beautiful afternoon, as you can see. A low-scoring affair. 1 pitch into the game, it was 1-0, and nobody has scored since. Shane Bieber has gotten stronger and stronger as the game has gone along. Struck out the side in the 5th, and he is back out to begin the 6th inning. He's at 83 pitches right now. Adam Macko has been up in the bullpen. Brandon Nimmo will be the first batter. What's Nimmo got going on here?
He's trying to get comfortable too. It's a hot day, Dan, when that sun is beating down and drying that dirt up. You get that underlayer that was moist a few hours ago, and it's starting to crack up on the hitters in the batter's box.
Fastball just a bit off the outside corner, ball 1. Same spot, ball 2. Boy, neither one of those missed by more than half an inch.
Jeez.
3-0. Bieber has walked 3 on the afternoon. 2 of those came in the first inning. In there, 3-1. Berger is next. After Nimmo, a couple of right-handed batters. Then a bunch of lefties come up. That's in there at the knees, 3-2. So Macko's probably up for the number 7 spot on the order, due up 4th here this inning. Back to a full count. And low, ball 4. Another very close miss. And a leadoff walk for Nimmo. Nimmo took some close pitches in that.
Yeah, I'm sure Pete Walker wants that call too, but Alejandro Kirk, no challenge. He knows as a receiver back there, just below the zone.
So here's Berger, a walk and a fielder's choice, 0 for 1. A cutter for a strike, 0-1. Bieber up to 90 pitches right now, so getting a little bit more stretched out. Had not gone beyond 80 in either his last start or the rehab outings. In the air to left field. Going back, Pinyango, and he makes the catch just a couple of feet shy of the wall.
Well, we've talked a lot about the outfield defense of Pinyango, and he does a very nice job here, turning to his left, no panic, feeling for the wall, settling in. Well done.
Pete Walker on the phone again with instructions for the bullpen when Mako might come in. Here's Ezekiel Duran. Line drive center field, his second hit of the ball game. Up to second on the play goes Nimmo.
Did it on a very similar pitch in his last at bat. All over that curveball from Bieber.
And here comes John Schneider. A left-handed batter is due up. 3 of the next 4 of the next 5 in fact are left-handed batters. So this is the spot for Mako, and Joe, definitely a step forward for Shane Bieber here in his second start.
It did not look good early for Shane Bieber. Did not have his command, but much better the rest of the way, taking his team into the 6th.
And a nice ovation for the veteran as he comes off the mound. He will leave with 1 out here in the 6th.
July baseball is right around the corner, and the outfield district is the perfect place to catch a game under the sun. Enjoy your favorite general admission spots at the ballpark, all with 1 ticket. Outfield district tickets are available now, so head to bluejays.com/outfield district for tickets. It's a perfect day to be in the outfield district today, Dan.
Looks like a great day to be anywhere here in the ballpark. Great weather. Blue Jays, though, are down 1-0. Here's Adam Mako, inheriting a 2-on 1-out situation, and a very dangerous pinch hitter is at the plate for the Rangers. Justin Foscue, a right-handed batter, hitting for Evan Carter, a guy who has hit lefties very, very hard this year. He is 13 for 34. That's a .382 average, including 3 home runs. And he hit a home run off Patrick Corbin on Friday night. Nimmo at second, Duran at first, and the 0-1 misses, and it's a ball and a strike.
Mako pitched in that game Friday night, a scoreless inning despite a couple of walks. He got through it, but it took him 31 pitches.
And you see the disparity there. Foscue just dominant against lefties. Fouls it off, 1-2.
And a lot of people will ask why that is, the platoon advantage. And oftentimes for right-handed hitters, the lefties' ball is coming into them as opposed to breaking pitches going away. But clearly getting a good sight line from the left-handed release point.
So Bieber 5 1/3 left the game at 92 pitches. So the decision was, do you leave Bieber out there? But again, he's just coming back off, 3 months on the IL, and threw 12 more pitches in this game than he had in any other outing leading up to this one. Here's the 1-2, and that's inside. A look back. And now the 2-2 is on the way, and it's fouled off by Foscue.
What good idea. They're trying to get inside there, and that shattered his bat.
Did it ever?
The home run that he hit off Corbin was a breaking pitch, a slider down in the zone. Trying to tie up this right-hander that's done so much damage against lefties.
This is Adam Mako's 14th major league outing. He made his major league debut May the 18th. Pitched in that series at Yankee Stadium 3 times in the 4 games. Pitched very well, was kind of caught up in a numbers game, had options. Dylan Cease came off the IL. They sent him back down, but called him back up, wanting a second lefty. Is kind of around the edges of the staff. Things have continued to move back and forth. Big spot here. Again, the 2-2 on the appeal did not go. Now it's full.
Well, it appears there's a game plan here against Foscue. He's staying hard with the fastballs. See how he tries to finish him off.
That is a foul ball by a foot, maybe two. And again came in on him.
Yep. Very late with the swing, but Foscue catching it very deep, almost sliced it down that right field line.
Tough out though, as we mentioned. You can see it. You heard the numbers against lefties. A long look back, and again the 3-2, and it's down and in, and that's going to load the bases. For the number 8 hitter, Elias Diaz. And the Blue Jays are bringing the infielders in right now. Not all the way in, maybe the option, Joe, of turning two or coming to the plate, depending on how hard the ball is hit.
Yeah, hit hard in the middle. Those guys will probably turn it. The corner guys, if the ball's hit right at them, they'll probably come home. If the ball takes them towards second, they'll go that way.
The first pitch to Diaz, swung on and missed, 0-1. And Nicky Lopez is now running at first for Foscue. The 0-1. Up the middle and over the head of Clement and into center for a base hit. It'll be an RBI single for Diaz to make it 2-0.
Mako got this fastball in off the plate. It sounded like Diaz broke his bat too, but just loops it over the drawn in infield. Target wanted it up, pulled it in. Not a bad pitch at all. But with the infield drawn in, Ernie just can't get there.
So they remain loaded, still one out, and now here is Alejandro Osuna, left-handed hitting outfielder, the number 9 hitter in the Rangers lineup. He is 0 for 2. He's had some tough luck today. He was the guy who lined into the double play when he hit it to Guerrero, and then he was the guy who lined to Jimenez, who made that diving catch. Guerrero's got this one. Step on the bag, or did he? Either way, they got it. I don't know if he stepped on the base or threw home first, but some combinations of 3s and 2s and 3s again, and they got the double play. Let's see.
The important thing is this is interesting. If he steps on the bag, if he steps on the bag, you got to tag that runner at the plate.
Yes. But it appears the inning is over. Canada's winning inning. When the Blue Jays get a hit this inning, you could win a VIP trip to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Well, this was really interesting. The bases are loaded with 1 out, and the ball is hit down to Guerrero at first. And if Vladdy steps on the bag, he gets the out there, but then that takes the force away at the plate, and it's got to be a tag. But they threw to the plate, force there, back to first for the force. And it looked like Guerrero missed the bag, whether by design or not, I don't know. Watch the left foot of Guerrero, not on the base, but by like an inch. So then that is the second out. It is a force, and then back to first for the third out.
The person here who was put in a very difficult position is Alejandro Kirk.
Right.
As a catcher, you don't know if your first baseman touched the bag or not. If he thinks he touched that bag, then he would have to apply a tag to the runner. So he's assuming he did not get the force at home and turn it to first. What a tricky play. He just barely missed that first base bag.
So it is a 3-2-3 double play, and it means the Rangers get just 1. And here's Guerrero leading off the bottom of the 6th. A fly ball to deep right, and then a strikeout. And on the strikeout, That one looked pretty good, but it's called ball one. He chased a couple of sliders down and away. Lopez remains in the game. He is at second base, and Duran is now in left field, with Osuna moving to center. And another ground ball for Guerrero, this one to third, out number one. Guerrero now 0 for 3. That'll bring up Kaz Okamoto, who is 0 for 2. He'll take it high, ball one. Swings through that one, 1-1. With Braden Fisher now up in the bullpen. Top of the order coming up for the Rangers, but 3 of the first 4 hitters are left-handed, so we'll see if Mako comes back out or not. That looks like a game face.
Yep.
And with the lefties coming up, it stands to reason. Grounded down to third. Young's got this one and unleashes a good throw for the second out.
It was Braden Fisher that gave up the home run to Corey Seager yesterday in that 6th inning, so you'd think maybe you want Mako to face a couple of these lefties up top.
2 down, and here's Dalton Varsho, who struck out in the first and had kind of a squib base hit up the third baseline that rolled into left in the 4th. Up shallow left field, and Duran will make the play as Rocker retires the Blue Jays in order in the bottom of the 6th.
Ago, and the celebration continues this summer. On Saturday, July 18th, be one of the first 15,000 fans through the gates and receive a set of 92 and 93 World Series replica rings. Get here early to witness the unveiling of the back-to-back statue to honor the Blue Jays' consecutive World Series wins and claim this exclusive giveaway. Secure your tickets at bluejays.com/promotions. Dan.
And a thank you. Top 7, 2-0 Rangers. Adam Mako is back on the mound to face the left-hand hitting Jock Peterson, who homered in the first, has lined out and struck out since. And a wave at that slider, 1-1. Jeff Hoffman now starting to get loose. The first 4 hitters for the Rangers, lefty, righty, lefty, lefty. And not guys that Skip Schumacher would take out. He's not pinch hitting for Corey Seager or Brandon Nimmo, so Mako may be in through the first 4 batters if it were to go that long. Strike 3 called for out number 1. 95 right at the top end of the zone on the outside corner.
Mix in a few sliders early, and that fastball can really freeze the left-handed hitter from the left-handed pitcher. That outside part of the plate, it just locks you up, anticipating that spin.
Josh Young 1 for 3. Well, one guy's been in the big leagues for 20 years, and one guy's been in the big leagues for about 36 hours.
20 hours.
Yeah.
So do you remember your first day, Max? I loved what Sean said when Hazel was reporting today about that first hit. And I mentioned it during the broadcast yesterday. It's just such a relief to get that. And it is, because you anticipate your first big league call up. Then you get up here. The last thing you want to do is go 4 or 5 or 6 games without getting that first hit.
Line to right field. Lucas back. 2 down.
Get game-changing internet and Canada's most reliable internet. Rogers Xfinity. We got you.
Adamaco back in the big leagues, his second appearance since being recalled, giving the Blue Jays a second lefty out in the pen. He's retired the first 2 here, and now will face Corey Seager, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. Up and in, 2-0. Boy, Alan Porter can crouch like a catcher back there. That was impressive. High again, 3-0.
See, umpires will always get that look on the inside between the hitter and the catcher. So with a left-handed batter up right now, he's almost fully exposed, and that's why you wonder they wear some foul tips too.
And Mako loses him. A 2-out walk. Now to bring up Nimmo, who figures to be last batter one way or another for Mako. Jake Berger's on deck. Jeff Hoffman's up in the pen. Mako trying to finish it here. Kirk challenging.
Catcher is challenging the ball call.
He's 2 for 2. He's 3 for 3.
Calls overturned. Toronto has 2 remaining.
And just having a hitter 0-1 versus 1-0, just if you look at the totality of baseball, the average, the slug, everything goes down significantly when that first pitch is a strike. Ground ball to the right side, a sliding stop, and Clement could never get a handle on it. Looked like he still had a play had he been able to come up with it after the first time, but when he reached again, couldn't find it.
I'm not sure why Ernie went to the ground here. It's like he's trying to surround it. Ranging to his left, oftentimes you'll just see a second baseman reach out, grab that ball, but either way, it's going to bring the manager to the mound.
That error will extend the inning and signal the end of the afternoon for Adamaco, and to bring Jeff Hoffman in to face Jake Berger. As all the heavy hitters with the Blue Jays and hit shows from the biggest networks in TV, bundled today at sportsnetplus.ca. Top of the 7th, 2 on, 2 out, 2-0 Texas. Jake Berger the batter, Jeff Hoffman on the mound.
Hoffman pitched around a 1-out double for a scoreless inning in yesterday's game, double by Josh Young, but he has had an excellent month of June, trying to finish it off right.
And a slider in for a strike.
Just 1 earned run on 5 hits in 10 2/3 innings this month. He's walked 4 and struck out 13.
Seager at second, Nimmo at first. And the 0-1. Fastball is in there, 0-2.
Could certainly tell Berger looking slider again. He just absolutely froze on that pitch and buckled as it got by him.
And everybody's got the data. Jeff's been throwing the slider a lot more the last month or so. Out in front, 0-2. It well foul.
Interesting that he went to the splitter. He does throw it to righties on occasion, but we know that the slider is certainly his first choice against right-handed hitters. That one kind of took off horizontally and toward the righty.
Again, the 0-2. Ball one, down and away as Kirk keeps it in front of him.
Plus, we were talking about earlier with Kirk, he doesn't necessarily move his body to block, but he reaches out, so you're lessening that short hop, not necessarily trying to catch it. Just knocking it down. That's exactly what he did, keeping it close.
I'll look back at Seager. And now the 1-2. Did he go? He did not, according to Roberto Ortiz down at first base.
I thought he did. No, I think he held up.
So it's 2-2. Now he gets him. A great slider there from Hoffman to strand a couple of runners. It is still 2-0 after this strikeout of Jake Burger. The Blue Jays coming up in the bottom of the 7th.
Where will you be for the next big moment? 2027 full season ticket memberships are on sale now. Here for every regular season moment and lock in postseason access exclusively with a season ticket membership. Don't miss out. Visit bluejays.com/season tickets for more details. Dan.
And a thank you. The Blue Jays desperately trying to get the bats going here. They have been held off the scoreboard through 6. They've got 4 hits. They've left 5 men on. They will bring up 6, 7, and 8. Ernie Clement, Alejandro Kirk, Hendrik Pinango, and out of the bullpen comes right-hander Cole Winn.
Wynn's ERA is up over 6 in his 28 games. He's allowed runs in 3 of his last 4.
First pitch swinging. Clement with a fly ball to left. 1 down. They did not get much done off Kumar Rocker today. He had a good afternoon.
Well, we knew coming in, we highlighted his slider, what an outstanding pitch it has been. I think coupled with that sinker, the way he moved it in and out today too. 2 devastating pitches and an outstanding performance back-to-back now for him. He had a good one coming in. No walks and 9 strikeouts against the Marlins over 5 innings last time out.
Here's Alejandro Kirk 0 for 2. And a fastball at 96 is in there. Foul ball up the third baseline. It's 0-2. Springer and Lucas had base hits to begin the bottom of the first, but the Blue Jays were unable to score. A base hit by Varsho in the 4th, and then one by Jimenez in the 5th. They did score 13 runs in the first 3 games of the series, 5, 4, 4. Usually, if you score 5 and 4 and 4, you find a way to win one of those games, but they have fallen short in each of the first 3. Today, the pitching has been better, but they haven't gotten anything going offensively. Taken low. Now the 1-2. And Kirk had to reach for it. Grounds it up the middle. Seager's got time to make the play, and we go to Hazel.
Daniel Hendrick Pinyango's been working really hard on being better at controlling the zone. He said he used to be somewhat of a free swinger, looking and swinging at just about anything thrown his way. He's worked with the hitting coaches to be better armed with a game plan, trying to be more patient, more selective, and hoping that will lead him to make better swing decisions. A good swing decision last night as he put the Jays on the board with that 2-run home run off lefty Robbie Armstrong, his first homer off a left-hander in his career. Hitless so far this afternoon.
Hazel, thank you. Yes, a ground out and a strikeout. And when you look at the spray chart for Hendrick Pinyango, the power is to the pull side. The home runs have all been to right or right center, but you do see a lot of hits to left and left center. He's got that in him to take a pitch on the outside corner the other way. It feels, though, Joe, like we're seeing more swing and miss on pitches in the zone like that.
Yeah.
And he's only been back 2 days, but even in his second stint here than in his first time around with the Blue Jays.
It could be the path that we were talking about. He's got a steeper path to the baseball, too, meaning more down to it, flatter.
How do you feel about his swing decisions in general?
Pretty good in general, and I think because he did so well early on, I thought for sure the league was going to start spinning the baseball a little bit more against him. That's always a challenge for any young hitter coming up.
Tried there, but missed down and away, and it's 2-2.
And I think on the home run, Hazel was referring to decisions. I think he went up there looking for a pitch, got it, and it happened to be one that was left kind of up and in. And that's a good thing. You're looking for any advantage you can get in a matchup that's not ideal.
A high fastball will get him, and again the Blue Jays go in order. They trail 2-0 at the end of 7, and it's time now for a Blue Jays Central update with Jamie Campbell and Madison Shipman.
Japanese slugger. On Monday, July 20th, the first 15,000 fans at the ballpark will take home a Kazuma Okamoto t-shirt. Secure your tickets at bluejays.com/promotions. Dan?
And a thank you. July 20th. We'll have to ask Kaz if he ever had like a promotion for him in Japan.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. 2-0 Texas, top 8. Jeff Hoffman back on the mound. And Ezekiel Duran hits one deep down the left field line, foul into the seats. That ball was up there for an eternity.
The scoreboard said 50.7-degree launch angle. That's high, right?
Yeah. It felt more like straight up. It felt like 90. Here's the 0-1. And this one fouled off 0-2. So Hoffman struck out Jake Berger with a couple of men on to end the top of the 7th. Back up out there, top 8. Nobody up in the pen. It's Duran, Nicky Lopez, and Elias Diaz, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. And the 0-2. Fastball away. Another fastball. This one will find the seats as well.
Boy, he's going right after him with the fastball here. Just finished talking about how much he's been throwing his slider lately, but looks like the game plan is to stay with the number 1 against Duran.
One, 2. Slider down and away, ball 2. Foul off. That got a chunk of Alejandro Kirk. Was that around the shoulder or collarbone maybe?
Still feeling it despite that chest protector. He's even got that extra piece to protect the shoulder, but
so the at-bat continues, still 2-2 on Ezekiel Duran. Fastball lifted to right. He's hit it pretty well. Lucas is back and has just enough room on the track. One down.
A good location with that fastball. It's away from Duran enough that he's not able to drive it out of the ballpark. Just a little bit toward the end of the bat, perhaps. Jeff was locating some fastballs pretty good during that at bat.
Jeff Hoffman pleased.
You make hitters use the big part of the ballpark. It's tough to get it out.
Yeah. It's not a coincidence that the vast majority of home runs are hit to the pole side of the field. Nicky Lopez, the batter, came on as a pinch runner in the 6th, remained in the game at second base. Okamoto in at 3rd. And it's 0-2.
Another good fastball.
So you like kind of the unpredictability from hitter to hitter that you're seeing today.
I do. I mean, you know, I'm not saying I love fastballs all the time, but I think the fastball has to set up the secondary pitches.
And Clement can't come up with this one. A hard hit ball to his right. It'll bounce into shallow center. Lopez will reach and will wait for the scoring on the play.
Well, this ball hit very hard, but we have just not seen the same Ernie Clement defensively this season. I'm sure Ernie be the first one to say, I got to have that. Is it an easy play? No, but it's a play that we saw Ernie make time and time again, whether he was at third base, wherever he was last year. Got to be frustrating for him.
One on, one out. Here's Diaz. I think that ball, maybe he got a little bit of the glove on it, but I think it hit him in the leg, actually. He just never got it squared up. It is scored a base hit. Diaz 2 for 3, drove in a run with a base hit in the 6th. 1-1. $18 pitches now for Hoffman. As we showed you, Fisher is up in the pen. Diaz back in there with a count of 1-1. Lopez the lead, not going, and a swing and a miss. 1-2.
Good biting slider from Hoffman. As a hitter, you're making that decision when it still looks pretty good. It looks like it's going to be at the bottom of the zone, but it just falls off the table.
Throw to first. Lopez dives back in.
Wonder if they might try a little something here and try to steal a bag. You know, it's been an issue for Hoffman, and with Kirk behind the plate, as you noted earlier.
Lopez 3 for 4. One season back in 2021 stole 22. There he goes. And it's fouled off.
2 strikes with Hoffman pitching too, maybe anticipating a slider, and he got one.
Much tougher pitch for Kirk to get and throw.
A
Right?
little more time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an off-speed pitch. If it's down and away from the right-handed hitter, that's always the toughest one for a catcher to handle. It takes a little longer. That one backed up on him and stayed in.
So again comes set. Lopez the lead one more time. He is not going here, and it's swung on and missed. A 96-mile-an-hour fastball to get him.
Good mix with the slider and the fastball today. That four-seam fastball has looked very firm. A lot of life on that pitch.
And now Hoffman will try to get Alejandro Osuna to retire the Rangers here in the top half of the 8th. There goes the runner. No, he stopped. It's a strike taken. A couple of hard steps there by Lopez, but then he put the brakes on.
And what that can do, it can get your catcher out of the stance a little bit. Now Alejandro Kirk did not budge here, but if you come out of your stance a little bit, you might not get that called strike on a borderline pitch.
And another throw over, so that's the first disengagement. The disengagement count, if you will, resets every at bat. Out maybe there, but the runner dives back into first.
As a catcher, you hate when runners do that, and I think they know that, because you have to come out of your stance and get ready to throw if the first thing you see over there is that they're taking off. You can see Alejandro up in a position. He thought, why not fire it down there anyway? Plus you're blocked off with that left-handed hitter.
Now he's going. Pitch is high, the throw down, the tag. He got him. Jimenez gets the tag down on Lopez. Alejandro Kirk throws him out. So they had to put a lot of energy into it to make sure they were doing the best they could to give themselves a chance. And they did. A good pitch to throw on. A good throw by Kirk. The tag by Jimenez. And it's on to the bottom of the 8th. You're watching Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. It is on to the bottom of the 8th. The Blue Jays down 2-0. Running out of innings, running out of outs right now. They've got Andres Jimenez, George Springer, and Nathan Lucas coming up, and Cole Winn is back on the mound. His second inning. He got the Blue Jays in order in the 7th. Jimenez wants to challenge.
Batter is challenging the strike call.
Ooh. By that much. Wow.
Toronto has 2 remaining.
Never in doubt.
Good eye, Andres.
They've still got 2, and it's 1-0. Less than 1/10 of an inch. I thought he might do it again on that pitch.
Hey, I'm all over it. You know, there might be a little something going on here, because Andres has not been great at this.
Yeah, I believe he was 1 for 9 before that one. I look every few days, and
I'm sure his manager has had some chats with him.
Yeah.
But this is certainly the time of game where you're going to try it, and he needs to get on base any way he can to bring that tying run to the plate.
Texas bullpen is quiet right now. And he took one down the middle for strike 3 called. .96 right down the middle, thinking or looking for something else.
He saw the one splitter in the at-bat. Maybe that's on his mind, but man, just can't get caught like that at this point in the game.
Out number 1, top of the order, George Springer. 1 for 3, had a base hit back in the first. In there, 1-1. The Rangers came in here not playing their best baseball, and they are hopeful of a 4-game sweep, something incidentally they did here in September of 2023, the year they won the World Series. But they have jumped out early and have held off the Blue Jays, despite the Jays getting some late runs the first 3 days. You know, you look at some of the numbers their pitchers have put up, and then you watch them on the mound, and they're doing better here than they've done recently. And it's just the Blue Jays have scored some runs late in the games, but overall still not clicking offensively. That was run into left field. That could be a start. Second hit of the game for Springer.
George is on this fastball away, and that's another good sign. His base hit earlier was a slider away. Covering the outside half of the plate is always a good sign for a hitter, especially George. We know he handles middle in really well. Let's go, guys. Let's go. We're not done yet.
Nathan Lucas, 1 for 3, had a base hit in the first. And went out in front 0-1. This crowd just itching to have something to get out of their seats and roar about. Well, it might be this. Lucas, deep right field, and it's gone. Man, oh man, did they need that. A 2-run home run by Nathan Lucas to tie the game.
You could see how animated George Springer was at that first base bag when he got his base hit. He's like, let's go, guys. This is not done yet. And Dan, you just about called it right there. Did they ever need something in this building? And I think everyone is very appreciative to Nathan Lucas right now.
If only it were that easy. But I was just, you know, you're feeling for the crowd, right? I mean, just dying to have something to cheer about. Another big day for Nathan Lucas. It's tied at 2. Guerrero lines out to second, 2 down.
Well, Nathan handles off-speed pitches down in the zone very well. He saw the splitter, and then Wynn comes back with the slider. And I've always felt that Nathan kind of sinks into his legs. Look at him get down there after that pitch. Those are the pitches for me that he can do damage on. He can hit a fastball. He can hit high-velocity fastballs. But to me, he's more of a singles-type guy on those pitches. Did he ever do damage on that slider down in the zone?
Over 400 feet. You know, he's been one of the best players this team has had this year, and he's missed a lot of time. And remember vertigo at the beginning of the year and wasn't able to hit at all. But he has been one of the most indispensable players this team has had, because you know what you're going to get out of this guy every single day. It's tied at 2. 1-1 on Kaz Okamoto. Is much noisier now than it was just a couple of minutes ago. And Louis Varland is up. He joined Braden Fisher a few minutes ago after the home run. Fisher sat down. Ground ball to short, and that'll be the inning. But finally some offense for the Blue Jays. It started with a 1-out single for George Springer, who got to first base and said, come on, guys, only down 2, let's go. And then Springer, as much as anybody, loving what Nathan Lucas did. A big, big home run to tie this ball game. Well, it's a brand new ball game thanks to Nathan Lucas. A 2-run home run to right, 404 feet. It is 2-2 going to the 9th. The Blue Jays still alive and kicking here, trying to salvage the final game of this series, and this tie game has brought Louis Varland into it.
Appearance number 40 for Varland this season. That ERA is under 1. His whip is under 1. Just does not allow many hits, does not walk many. And he is here to keep this a tie ball game, give his team a chance to walk this thing off.
Alejandro Osuna, the number 9 hitter, will lead it off. That means Jock Peterson and Josh Young are the next 2 hitters. Osuna 0 for 3. Popped up foul. Okamoto going down the line, but it's in the seats. Activity in the Texas pen, but it is not either of the top 2 guys that the Rangers have. Jacob Junis and Jacob Latz, each of whom pitched Thursday and Friday. One threw a total of 40 pitches, one threw a total of 41 in the 2 appearances. They've each had a day off. But at least at this point, neither one is up in the bullpen. The lefty was Tyler Alexander, the righty Winston Santos, who has not pitched yet in this series. He is not a high leverage guy for Texas, but we'll see if it changes depending on what happens here in the top half of the inning. 2-2 the count, and the changeup poked foul.
Boy, he has just got a broad arsenal. He's thrown the curveball, he's thrown the changeup. We know the fastball that touches triple digits on occasion. That was a well-located changeup as well, just off the edge.
Fights off another one. Feels like the Rangers have had a lot of these kinds of at-bats over the last 4 days.
Spiking pitch counts.
Even against some good stuff.
Yep. Yeah, it's one thing we saw him doing it against Patrick Corbin. We not having that put away stuff.
And he couldn't get to that one. Held on to by Kirk, out number 1.
Just keep after him. He is not afraid to back down against anyone. And again, pretty good at bat by Osuna, but just can't catch up to the heat up on top of the zone. Louis Varland is throwing it all at you.
1 down. Here's Jock Peterson. Now to play, and it's 0-1. Peterson homered on the first pitch of the ball game. Has lined out and then struck out twice since then.
And you wonder how much scouting reports are thrown out the window when it's Louis on the mound. Just his stuff is so different than everyone else.
Fastball outside corner, strike 2 call.
Good fastball hitter. Be careful with the fastball. Louis says, I don't care. Hit this. No chance.
99 up and away. And back-to-back strikeouts for Varland. That'll bring up Josh Young. What a year Louis Varland is having. Just shook 3 times. A guy who does not shake all that often. He really wanted that pitch. Line drive, though, into right center. The slider is hit in the gap by Young, and it'll be a 2-out double.
Well, Louis got a little grin on his face right now, and you said it, Dan. It's shaking off some pitches. He settled on this one. Louis sees it go in the gap. Yep. You're right, Kirky.
Yeah.
I'll listen to you from now on.
If you ask Louis, he says he doesn't shake off catchers very often. He believes in execution more than conviction sometimes, which is not the way everybody is, but Kelnick pinch running for Young out at second, and the batter is Seager. And a wild pitch will bounce away and into the netting, and the runner is coming home. Kelnick racing around from second base as the pitch bounced way up in the air and into the netting, and the Rangers have the lead.
I knew right when this ball got away from Alejandro Kirk, this was going to be trouble because he couldn't find it right away. Watch this deflection go. It takes off the umpire's shoulder, but because it took off so far, Alejandro has no idea where the baseball is. By the time he finds it, you know it's going to ricochet off that backstop. No chance to get there.
And Kelnick scoring easily. A good job by him, not just assuming 90 feet and nothing more, finding the ball. I'm sure everybody in the Texas dugout was yelling like crazy, and what a way for the go-ahead run to score. A 2-out double, and then a wild pitch allowing a runner to score from second.
We talk so much about Alejandro, how he tries to do that with his glove, and he reached out and he just could not come up with it. But the unfortunate part is it clipped off the umpire's shoulder. He's got shoulder pads under there. That's what made it take off so far. See the runner, third base coach sees it all the way, giving him a heads up to get going.
The 1-2 to Seager is down and away. So now the Blue Jays trailing again. They will bring up Varsho, Clement, and Kirk in the bottom of the ninth. Fights it off. This is the kind of thing you might see once or twice a year.
Very rare. Very rare. And Alejandro is so good too at normally, as we said earlier, sticking it out there. That's the way he blocks baseballs for the most part. So it's no knock on Alejandro. That's just the way he does it, and he's very good at it. But when you do miss it, that's what can happen. And it was just an unfortunate bounce, though, off of the umpire's shoulder. Probably a matter of inches where it catches the inside of that umpire's shoulder and might drop right in front of him.
2-2 again. In the dirt, it's
There's
full.
the difference. See how he moved to block that. And you just wonder sometimes if that's in his head, because that was a breaking ball. The pitch that got by him wasn't a changeup. Whether it's spin, he decides to try to do that.
Now 3-2 on Seager. Barlin struck out the first two, but then the double by Young and the pinch runner Kelnick coming in on the wild pitch. 3-2 again. And another foul off by Seager. Ten pitches already. So Varland strikes out 3, but the Rangers get a run, and the Blue Jays will come up in the bottom of the ninth, trailing by 1. Up with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Bo is coming back to town as a member of New York Mets. It will be quite the vibe in the ballpark, I'm sure. I'm sure there will be a very nice tribute video for Bichette and all that he did as a member of the Blue Jays. You can see game 1 of that series tomorrow night with Blue Jays Central getting it going at 6:30 Eastern Time. The Blue Jays need 1 to tie. The Mets just got to run. In the oddest of ways, a wild pitch allowing a runner to score from second on the play. And here's Tyler Alexander, who pitched the final inning of yesterday's game in to try to get a save here today.
Got the save yesterday in that 7-4 game, pitching a perfect 9th inning, his 35th appearance of the season.
The Blue Jays will send up Dalton Varsho, Ernie Clement, and Alejandro Kirk.
A lot of sinkers and sweepers to left-handed hitters, and Varsho will have that information heading into the batter's box.
So he faced Straw, Urias, Guerrero yesterday. Varsho, Clement, Kirk today. Varsho 1 for 3. Takes outside, ball 1. After Varsho, Clement, Kirk, if it gets beyond that, Pinango and Jimenez, a couple of left-handed batters. John Schneider's got some options on the bench. Chased it, 1-1. That's a big breaking sweeper right there from Tyler Alexander.
We've seen Dalton very good against left-handed pitching, and when he's at his best, he's staying on that pitch as long as he can.
He's trying to bunt his way on it, but he bunts it foul. We see Dalton do this every now and again with a lefty on the mound. Not a bad idea, but couldn't get it down.
Great idea. The only issue is it fouled off, and now he's behind 1-2. And he'll just have to go to battle.
You see Straw's got a bat in hand in case it gets down to Pinango's spot. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 down. So now Ernie Clement. Clement is 0 for 3 today.
Alexander will feature more changeups to right-hand hitters. Dalton saw the sweepers. Righties may see more changeups.
Ground ball up the middle to his left. Seager. The throw is in time for out number 2.
And it is indeed a first pitch changeup. Very aggressive hitter at the plate in Clement. Alexander just off the outside edge where that changeup gets him to roll over.
So it's going to be up to Alejandro Kirk to try to keep it going. With Miles Straw in the on-deck circle to hit for Pinango if it gets that far. He'll start him with a strike. The Blue Jays in jeopardy of losing their 6th consecutive game. That would have matched their longest losing streak of the season. The other one happened back in early April. Urias looks like he would run for Kirk if Kirk gets on. Now the 1-1. And that's called strike 2. Nathan Lucas with the 2-run home run that put a charge into the ball game here, tied it up in the bottom of the 8th, but the Rangers take the lead, top 9. And now the 1-2 pitch is down and away. It's 2-2. Sean Ortiz, new to the ball club, played yesterday, first big league hit. But tough times right now for this team, trying to avoid their 6th consecutive loss. Alexander has his sign. And the 2-2 pitch. Hit to right field, hit pretty well. Nimmo back, jumps, and he's got it to end the ball game. Brandon Nimmo still down on the warning track after making a very good catch and managing to hang on to the ball, and his teammates are racing out to check on him. Nimmo still not getting up. The ball game is over. The Blue Jays have been swept. Nimmo getting some help getting back to his feet, and now looks like he is all right, but a very good catch to put a cap on a 4-game sweep here, Joe, for the Texas Rangers.
Well, just when you thought Nathan Lucas was coming to save the day and you just felt like the Blue Jays were having that moment that can turn this tide, the unthinkable happens in the 9th inning, and the runner scores from second base on a ball that gets by Alejandro Kirk with just a bit of a bad hop off the umpire and off the backstop. Tyler Alexander back-to-back saves against the Blue Jays here in this series.
And they will try to regroup and get out there tomorrow night when the New York Mets come to town and hope for a better result. 6 consecutive losses now for the Blue Jays as they lose another 1-run affair. 3 of the 4 games in this series 1-run losses. 3-2.